Well, hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today we're going to go along with me as we get kind of end of summer homemaking, kind of getting our freezer filled and just kind of getting ready for fall. So the animals, I went out and fed them early this morning, so they're out there eating, having a good time. And I have a lot to get done today. So we butchered our chickens on Saturday. Today is Tuesday. And so they've been resting in the fridge, in the freezer, or not the freezer, the fridge and coolers. So today I'm going to be trying to get them, I'm going to actually part them up this time. We've not done that before because I want to make more use of my chicken, and sometimes it's hard to cook just whole chicken all the time. So I'm starting off, of course, with kind of cleaning up. I've been doing better the last week or so, I guess, of just kind of doing like an evening tidy up. And so this is just kind of right after I got the kids off to school, and then I'm basically cleaning up breakfast. And my goal is to get all of like my quote unquote regular chores done before I start working on like the extra stuff, like the chicken stuff. And then I'm also going to make a pie today because I have pie filling that I need to use up as well. So as usual, just kind of cleaning up, wiping off the counters, making everything look lovely because that's the goal. And then I'm working on, just kind of getting ready for doing the chickens. That's going to probably be the biggest thing I need to get done today because there's a lot of them and I want to get it done well before, get it frozen, all this stuff. So I don't know about you, but my kids love to just, every time they get up in the morning, they just literally throw the blankets, throw the pillows, throw everything off the couch, and it drives me bananas. So luckily enough, the living room wasn't too bad. All I had to do was just a little bit tidying up. And then I'm, of course, been working on laundry. Tuesday is one of my laundry days. And so I've been doing, Corbin had to get his sheets and comforter washed. So I'm a little sad. This will probably be the last time that I get to dry his comforter outside. I probably wash our comforters a lot more often in the summer. It is just so much easier. They fit in my dryer. It just takes forever. So as you can see, the chickens are gone. Our chicken house is empty, which we also got to get that cleaned out. And I'm using our food saver for the very first time. We got this like over a year ago at Christmas, and I've been wanting to use it for ages, but I just haven't really used it. So I'm starting with the whole chickens, and I'm going to basically part them up. I'm going to cut off the chicken leg quarters and then cut off the chicken breasts, and then the rest of the chicken I'm actually going to put in for stock. So I'm going to use it to make chicken broth. So I'm going to be using every single part of the chicken. I didn't take the bone. I was going to maybe take the bones off the breast, but I decided not to because it was just going to take more time. And whenever I go to cook them, I can just do that anyway. So this is like my very first time using this. So I look like a total goofball, but you know what? It was nice. I liked having it. So I'm like trying to figure out how the whole thing works, but at least it's fairly like user friendly. I didn't feel like it was too hard to figure out. And hopefully this way it'll keep kind of the meat fresher longer. So we shall see. And do a little happy dance. I'm hilarious. Do you ever just like watch yourself sometimes and realize how goofy you look on camera? Because that's kind of what I feel like sometimes. Then I'm trying to figure out how to open it because, first time. So there we go. And so I try to date everything. Normally I date everything just so that I know. But for the most part, our chickens last us about a year. See there, I'm doing it again. I'm kind of cracking myself up because I'm a goofball. We're all goofy sometimes. So I think it was 22 chickens that we ended up surviving till butcher day. We started with 24, so it wasn't too many. One disappeared, and then one was not very healthy, so we decided to return them to nature. That's what we call it. And we just basically did not eat it. So got the leg quarters because I cook a lot of dishes with like things that call for like shredded chicken meat. If I'm not cooking a whole chicken and using the leftovers, because I do that a lot, I love using just the leg quarters. You throw them in water, you boil them for about 25-30 minutes tops. That's what my mom used to do growing up. It's the cheapest cuts of meat, so you can like go to the store and like buy them for really cheap. But of course, if you have your own chickens, they're going to be a lot better anyway. But that's how I do it. I even make a really good like kind of baked chicken with the leg quarters. That turns out really good. The kids like, well, They like some days. I don't know about you, but I have the pickiest eating kids in the entire world sometimes. Anyway, so some of the chicken breasts, I just had to put them in like a Ziploc freezer bag because they would not fit in my like pre-made food saver bags. So yeah, so I ended up just getting as much air out, and that's how I normally do it anyway. So I ended up just putting them in this laundry basket and walking them out to the freezer. So I probably did about 4 chickens at a time, and then I walk it out of the freezer. So I think this is my last batch of chicken. So I'm excited because everything fit in the freezer, and I don't know, I'm just really happy to see like my freezer full for fall, because we will definitely go through all of it, and I think with it cut up we can utilize it a little bit better than before. So I'm kind of excited. We only have 3 extra chickens from last time, so they're now on top and everything fits. So this is the lard that I need to learn how to render. I think I'm just intimidated by it, but eventually I will get it and I will render it. That's why it's still in the freezer. So hopefully I can get that done soon. Just another thing on my list of things to do. Taking a quick coffee break, and I'm just going to do some dishes. I had actually been working on dishes all morning, so this is like the second load because we had just a lot of dishes. I don't know, when I feel like when the kids eat at home more, I'm running my dishwasher at least twice a day. So there's Fifi. She loves it when the camera is close. She just loves playing with it. I do not know why. She's a goofy goober. And it's kind of funny because she always messes with it, but at least it makes for comical things like this. So doing just a quick swap over of laundry. I did end up kind of stopping after this point, and I will be picking up with laundry on Wednesday because I was kind of the chicken doing that kind of took precedent. And I'm kind of, I know it's gonna sound weird, I work quote unquote on the house in the mornings, and then after lunch is normally like my quote unquote break time, especially because I like taking that time because Freya takes a nap, and I take about a couple hours to just kind of chill, watch a show, or just kind of do YouTube or whatever, so that I can actually get my break during the day. So if it doesn't get done before like 1 p.m., then it probably just gets pushed off to the next day. So I'm cleaning out my food saver and just kind of wiping out the sink and making sure everything is all nice and cleaned up from cutting up the chickens, so I don't have any issues with that. And so, just kind of keeping on top of it. It's a lot. And that's why, I do everything. So now it's coming up on lunchtime. I am sitting, putting my feet up for a bit because I am tired. I've been working hard all morning, but I feel really good, like I accomplished a lot of things. So that feels good. So lunch today is leftover chicken noodles or chicken and rice soup, and the girls had leftover macaroni and cheese because I was also trying to get rid of leftovers. So I use my Better Homes and Gardens cookbook to make the pie crust. So I basically canned about 6 cans of peaches, and they all worked out well. I think I got about 8 cans of apple pie filling, and I used Gravenstein apples. I was able to buy from a local orchard, and then but 2 of the jars kind of siphoned and didn't fully seal properly. So I went ahead and I threw them in the fridge, and it's been a couple weeks. So I'm like, okay, I really need to get these apple pie made, or the stuff's gonna go bad. So I'm using this recipe. It calls for shortening. I don't love shortening, but it seems to just work the best for pie crust. And so that's just what I use for now until I can find a better substitute that has the same consistency. I like the idea of coconut oil, but coconut oil is a little bit too watery sometimes, and so it doesn't quite work the same way. At least that's what I have felt like has happened. So just making up the pie crust right now. Yep, I put in the water and I basically knead it by hand because that just makes it work the best. And that's kind of what it looks like. It's nice and flaky, and now I am just going to kind of separate it and roll it out for the pie. So now I put the bottom part into the pie crust, and I just kind of tear off the edges so that it just looks smoothly. I don't do a perfect fancy pies. This was kind of a quick, just trying to kind of make it and throw it in the oven so we'd have something for dessert tonight and just kind of get it used up. So they say it takes 2 quarts to make an apple pie, and that was about accurate. And it was nice because I had 2 quarts that kind of didn't seal properly. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just make a pie real quick. So yeah, it worked out really well. The apple pie, I think the apple pie filling recipe I used was from the Melissa K. Norris. If you want it, I could link it down below. Really easy to follow. And I used my Presto canner, which is really nice. So just throwing that pie filling in there, and it's nice that it's kind of already made up. And then I'm going to throw the top crust on. It's not perfect, but I basically just cut little strips and then basically doing the lattice work, because that's what I normally, like, my opinion of like what an apple pie looks like. It normally looks like that. So just kind of I had to figure out like which way the lattice work was supposed to go. And then I kind of just folded up the sides and kind of crimped them around the edge to kind of make the edge of the pie crust. And that's kind of how I used up all the pie crust. And yeah, I made it look really cute. So now the pie is done, and I'm just getting it out of the oven. And it is almost time for my 2 elementary school kids to be home from school. So I'm going to just relax and veg. And that turned out so good. Oh, it looks so good. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all are doing a good job getting ready for fall, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!